Hey everybody, Karen from Master Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So this is going to be a really interesting session with the Lead Team Collective, the Spirit Guides. So we're going to ask the Spirit Guides some questions. My sister Marcia, who works with me on this channel in our community, she had this idea of looking back at a reading that I did in November of last year, asking Kamala Harris's higher self for the truth about the election. All right. And so she had this idea of let's take a look back at what the messages were then. And I'm going to read those messages to you real quick. And then we have a bunch of questions to ask the lead team regarding that. All right, like where are we at today regarding those messages a year ago? So let's take a look here. So like I said, just about a year ago, so I did an oracle reading. It was like one of my first ones because I hadn't been doing too many. I mean, I hardly had any oracle decks. So I had just, this channel is just a year old. So, all right. So we had asked the spirit teams, our spirit guides, for the truth from Kamala, from her higher self. So the first thing was the intention. So the community was asking, so what we asked in the video was the truth about the circumstances surrounding the 2024 election to be delivered in a way that the United States and the world could accept, understand, and use to heal. So we were asking for that at that time. All right, so I've got a couple questions to ask about that. Then there was an oracle message. So we pull the card, right? And the oracle message that we got. So I tapped into her higher self, all right? And the first message we got was Metamorphosis. So that was number 25, which would be a 7 for those who like the numerology. And that came from the Enchanted Map deck. So that was the deck that the Spirit Guides, that was one of my earlier ones, one of my first decks that I've actually had that way before I even started the channel. I maybe had like 3 or 4 when I started the channel. Now I have 65. Thanks to many of you who send them to me, which is amazing. Because you guys have, I haven't gotten any repeats. Maybe I got 1 repeat, but I gave it to my sister. So that was good. So she can start her little collection. So anyways, Enchanted Map deck. So Metamorphosis. So I have a few questions to ask about that. The spiritual guidance of that card explained that deep and beautiful change is happening. All right. But it is often painful and requires loss and sacrifice. You can't make this up. You can't make that up. And we were in so much, it was painful. It was so painful. Okay, so for the United States to transform, the message urged, all right, letting go of old ideas and embracing necessary change. Now, if we would have just gone deeper on that message alone for the entire year, it might have been a little smoother for us. I mean, really, we don't need to keep getting daily messages over and over and over again. They've told us what we needed to know in November of 2024. Listen to that again. The card Metamorphosis, the card that Kamala Harris's higher self picked for us when we asked that question about the truth about the election. Deep and beautiful change is happening, but it is often painful and requires loss and sacrifice. For the United States to transform, the message urged letting go of old ideas and embracing necessary change. Now, I haven't listened to that video. I will post it right here at the end of this video if you want to watch it. I haven't watched it since I recorded. I usually don't watch anything that I do, but that's amazing. I bet you. I mean, I'd be surprised if I wasn't like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, so we do have a few questions about that. Let's see, what was this last part? Okay, empowered Karen's and Keith's concept. What is that? Okay, maybe I'll have to come down. I got to figure out what that section is about. It probably has to do with the questions. So I will continue reading that um, section of it when I get down to those questions, okay? And then we have, my sister kind of set this up as two parts, but I'm going to try to go through the whole thing. We have a current energy surrounding her book, 107, the 107 days, okay? So I've got a list of questions about those. If it gets too long, then I probably will break it up, but let's see how we do here. Okay. So let me say the prayer. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel and your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, everybody in the lead team and my spirit team, which, my spirit team is a part of the lead team, so I guess I don't have to say that separately, but so lead team, hello. I hope you're doing well today. I say that to everybody. I hope you're doing well today. So lead team, as always, we really appreciate your time here, supporting us, guiding us, giving us intuitive hits individually and collectively on how to make, go through these necessary changes that the United States and the world is going through right now. So, well, and always, really, it's not like it hasn't been always constantly changing, but it's just speeding up. So they're saying yes. Okay, so lead team, we've got some questions here regarding that reading that I did in November 2024, asking Kamala Harris's higher self for the truth about the election. And then we got that card, the Metamorphosis, and then that explanation. All right, so let's just start with a few questions regarding the intention that we had for that reading. Does that sound good to you? Just checking in with them. Yes, all right. So just a reminder, the community was asking for the truth about the circumstances surrounding the 2024 election to be delivered in a way that the United States and the world could accept, understand, and use to heal. So let's see what they have to say. Is the public currently receiving the necessary truth and clarity about the 2024 election circumstances? No. Bummer. Okay. Has the truth that has come out over the last year been delivered in a way that helps the United States heal? Oh, great. Yes. I think that has the truth of like all the stuff that's come out, right? It is, I think, and I have felt this for many months, this is a starting place, the breakdown in us seeing things for what they really are. And we've had to go through a grieving process of that alone, is the opportunity now for the healing, right? Is the collective now more accepting of challenges or difficult truths than they were in November 2024? Yes, for sure. I am. And I'm not, I wouldn't say the word accepting maybe is the right word, but eyes wide open. Is the collective's eyes wide open about the challenges or difficult truths that we were in 2024, November 2024? Yes. Great. Okay, let me go back to the question number 1. Is the public currently receiving the necessary level of truth? Will the public ever receive the necessary level of truth and clarity about the 2024 election circumstances? Oh, I was really holding, like, not trying to influence nothing. Like, sometimes I just like don't even start. I have to stop thinking for a minute and let them just move. It's almost like I turned my energy off, and I just wanted to make sure I really did. And at first they started going yes and no, and then they just said yes. Okay. All right. So let's hope. Has the community's collective intention of what we were asking for then, the truth for the election? You guys, I even did an energy clearing for the truth of the election. And you could do that again. I'll post the energy clearing right here at the end. All right. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I saw that yesterday. I was going through something and I stumbled upon it. So I just had to make a note of that so I didn't forget. So the oracle message again, the card was Metamorphosis, it was a 7 card from the Enchanted Map deck. Question for the lead team collective. Is there a current metamorphosis happening in the United States? They really started shifting yes right away. Is it a result of the community's demands for truth? Wow, yes. Probably just not our community, although we are powerful. Is it a result of the collective's demand for truth? Yes. Is there a current metamorphosis happening in the overall world, on Earth? Yes. Is the collective worldwide demanding truth, starting to demand truth? Yes. Great. Has this painful process of change required loss or sacrifice from the American public over the last year? Yes, and we know that. We feel that. Is there more loss still to come before the metamorphosis is complete? Yes. Okay. Is this and again, this is what I've been intuitively sensing just from reading books we're reading and the Spirit Circle and just having all these conversations with you guys, is that I don't know that it'll be, well, let's ask. I'm not thinking it's going to be as painful, but is the metamorphosis continuing to happen for at least until 2030? Yes. Does that mean Trump will be the president of the United States until 2028 for sure? No. All right. So we don't have to live with him until 2030? Will we have to deal with the Republican Party as is in the current setup until at least 2028, 29, 30? No. All right. Again, I shouldn't say Republican Party because they're not Republican Party. There's just not a Republican Party anymore. So, let me ask this again. Is there more loss still to come before the metamorphosis is complete? Yes. Will it be as painful and difficult as it was in 2025? No. All right. But we have several years still of metamorphosis so that we can really build things much better for future generations. Yes. All right. Okay, just a reminder, the card Metamorphosis explained that deep and beautiful change is happening, but it is often painful and requires loss and sacrifice. For the United States to transform, the message urged letting go of old ideas and embracing necessary change. So we have 4 questions about that. Has the United States transformed in any way into a clearer, more positive form since this message was received? Oh, nice. Yes. Yes, really wide swing. Wonderful. Is there still more than 50% of the transformation to go? Yes. Yes, there is. Okay. Hang on tight, guys. We got this. We'll just keep doing it together. We're just plugging along together. We're living our own lives, taking care of ourselves individually so that you can take care of what you need to do in the collective as you're urged to do, as you follow your own intuition, not expecting other people to do the exactly same things you're doing. Let them follow their intuition. But the first thing is to take care of yourself, all right? So that you can be strong for those who are going to need some extra support as things break down. And, taking care of yourself for me is really about continuing to just be a part of this community. because if anyone in this community, like if things start to break down, I'm going to check with where I live first. Then I'm going to check with my, city that I'm living in. And I'm going to be at the same time checking in with you, right? Because you are my community and each other. You guys have each other, right? So, and it feels big, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, this is where you check in. You check on local communities. We are a local community. So anybody who's been hanging out in this community, we are a local community, a locus of control, right? So we are a small community. So kind of just think of it that way. You've got kind of your different communities. And if we keep our focus at the community level now, the local level, then we can make a huge impact. So that I'm very, very clear on as well. And this year gave me that clarity. Is the political system currently demonstrating any indications of letting go of the old ideas that were holding it back? Yes. That's very prevalent. I completely agree. I mean, in fact, we just talked yesterday. I did an energy report on the entire year after the election and what did we learn and why did we have to go through it. So I will post that video right here at the end of this video if you want to watch that. But we kind of talk through those things, all the things that we've kind of learned. Is the collective demonstrating indications of the ability to let go of old ideas that have been holding us back? Yes. Amazing. Amazing. Good job. Good job, you guys. Good job. All right, let's see. Empowered Karen's and Keith's concept. How do I not know who Keith is, Marcia? I don't know who Keith is. What am I missing here? Empowered Karen's and Keith's concept. I have no idea what Keith is. I was hoping we'd talk about that. Who set boundaries and demand the truth still important a year later? Is the community's mission to become empowered? Oh, I get it. Empowered Karens. Okay, because I'm a Karen. I mean, my name is Karen. And I was like, I'm not a Karen like one of those Karens. So I decided I was an empowered Karen. I wasn't getting the Keith thing, though. I must have talked about that in that session. I was like, who the heck is Keith? Who is Keith? All right, Keith is like the male version of Karen, I guess. Poor Keith. All right. Okay, thank you for letting me figure that out. All right, the overall goal of the community is to understand, this was in November 2024 again, that we are expecting the truth and are okay with setting boundaries and learning how to look like empowered Karens and Keiths with the energy. Okay, so obviously I came up with that at that time. Okay, let me read this again. So the overall goal of the community in November 2024 through this reading is to understand that we are expecting the truth. We have expectations and are okay with setting boundaries and learning how to look like empowered Karens, which, Karens, well, anyways, that's a whole nother topic, but empowered Karens and Keiths with the energy used to bring up things to heal and to voice things in a positive way, sending out positive energy. All right, so that obviously came up in that reading. So let's see what the lead team has to say about that. Is the community's mission to become empowered Karens and Keiths who set boundaries and demand the truth still important a year later in November 2025? Oh, good. Okay. Yes. Has the community as a whole successfully increased its ability to set boundaries in the last year? Awesome. Good job, you guys. Good job. Excellent. And that, I talked about this a couple days ago. I kind of got an intuitive hit on this. If you're going to have expectations of our government structures, you better darn well be doing the same thing in your own home. If you're not doing the things that you expect of them, and I just use fiscal responsibility as an example, Stop looking at them and start doing it first. Once you have your own fiscal responsibility and you're in a good place, then you can focus on them about being fiscally responsible. But you can't spend your energy griping about them not being fiscally responsible if you're not, all right? And that goes with anything. It's just the one example I come up. It goes with anything, all right? If you want the people who are running the world to have integrity, then you need to examine your own integrity. We all have places that we can improve our integrity. It's the human development process. So, and so want to spend all of our energy looking outside of ourselves. And you and you and you got to come back because they're mirroring us. They are mirroring us. It's the shadow. Okay, so the real work is in here. In here. So that's where, I've been talking yesterday, I talked too about where I'm headed in 2026 with the community and facilitating the community. So that is going to go deeper because I feel very strongly about that. That yes, we will still be aware of what's going on in the 3D, but the only way we're going to get to the 5D is doing it in here, is discovering what it is that's trying to teach us and that we can heal it. We're not going to heal collectively. That's probably why they're still in office right now. Because if we would have quickly, all of us collectively, not just the people in this community, because I think we did it much faster than most people are, and there's so many people that haven't yet, who are looking at that saying, that's disgusting. Why am I disgusted by it? How is that affect? What does that mean what does that mean inside of me? Why am I seeing it? Why is this manifesting in front of my eyes, right? If we would have done that much sooner, last year, December, January, and really did the shadow work around that, I mean collectively, I guarantee Trump wouldn't be in office still. And I'm just getting this all right now. I can just feel that the truth in that. You may not feel the truth in that, and that's okay. It's my truth. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now after facilitating so many conversations, is that and so many messages we got from the lead team on the pendulum over the year about Trump is this and Trump is leaving, and that was all probably true. But the collective wasn't. They were, and maybe this is what is the timeline we were supposed to be on. So maybe, I'm just saying, like, the more we, each of us individually and collectively, focus our attention outward, the less things are going to, the slower things are going to change. I just totally know that now. So that's why in this community, I will be facilitating some looking at the current events, but not as much as we have, and going a little deeper into, well, what do we do about it? Why are we still seeing this stuff, right? So because I don't want to continue facilitating conversations just about the 3D and keeping us stuck there, because we don't want to live in it anymore. If we don't want to live in it, then we got to stop paying attention to it. And I don't mean, again, like, don't get me wrong. Like, yes, I'm going to pay attention so that I can take an active role as a human, a spiritual being having a human experience, so I can take an active role and do what I need to do. But it's the energy around it. What's the energy around it? Are you sitting in despise, anger, appalledness? That's not a word, but are you appalled? Are you, are you looking at everything as it's despicable? I mean, still, I cannot watch Jimmy Kimmel right now because he shows too many clips of Trump. I can't do it. Stephen Colbert, I think, is funny. He doesn't show so many clips of Trump. I can't see the guy. I can't do it. That's some work I have to do, right? There's something about him. Anyway, so we're getting into the weeds, but okay. There's my little commentary. I think we're going to have to do 2 videos now with Kamala, but that's okay. All right, let's see. Is the community... I'm not sure if we did this one already, but let's see. I'll just read it over again. Well, have empowered Karens and Keith bonded together in a strong, noticeable, positive force in national dialogue since the reading? I hadn't read that one. Yes. Okay, great. Is the community's collective positive energy, our community, helping to deliver the truth in the way the world can accept today? Okay, I still believe, yes. I just believe it's about energy. It's about where you're putting your focus, how low your vibration can get, and are you staying in that low vibration, right? Because if you're staying in that low vibration regarding what's going on in the world, it's not helping the world. I can tell you that right now. And that's not to shame you or to fault you, because man, I'm there at least twice a week. So we're all in this together. It's just that's what I want to start focusing on in 2026. All right. Is the community's collective... Okay, I just did this one. This is the last question. Has the movement helped members find healing from the stress of political events over the past year? The movement of the Karens and the Keiths, empowered Karens and Keiths. Yes. I mean, really, if you look at the protests and the building of the protests, those are all empowered Karens and Keiths, right? They're not just like, the traditional, what you expect the traditional Karen to be. How the reason, our name, some of us Karens got stolen to represent something that's not positive. So if you can start to think of all the empowered Karens and Keiths, which means they have strong expectations, strong opinions, but they're coming at it from a positive, right? Where the negative Karens are not. So really interesting. Good job, Marsha. I like this session. All right. So tomorrow we'll do the next part, and we are going to look at Kamala's recent published memoir, 107 Days, and take a look at how that book tour is going. Let's see. She has also recently stated that she is not done with politics, whoop, whoop, and could possibly run for president again in 2028. Let's check in on her energy. All right. So that video will be tomorrow. Come back and join me. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.